Recently, everything in our lives has been uncertain due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Many aspects of our normal lives have been changed, whether due to quarantine measures or job loss. There are many things that make this trying times. However, during a national crisis like this, we can always rely on the fact that we will come together as a country to fight the issue at hand. In the past, we have united as a country during difficult times, such as back in the 20th century, where America came together during both the Great Depression and the Second World War under the leadership of President Roosevelt. Another recent example was during the September 11th attacks, where the country was once again unified after the tragedy that occurred that day. With this, although we have been politically divided in this country recently, we can rest assured that once again we shall come together to fight this pandemic during this crisis, to overcome any obstacle that may come.
To get the media. This is what this is what Hexite wants.
Wait, what? So, even during times like these, political polarization is still a major issue. So what could possibly be causing this? Well, political polarization has become a greater issue ever since the advent of the internet, especially in the United States. Along with the internet comes the rise of social media sites such as Facebook and Twitter, and these sites play a massive role in this issue. However, on their own, they are simply a means to communicate and share things such as photos or stories. The issue begins to arise when ideology is introduced into the fray and begins to affect discourse on these websites, because it is ideology's impact on social media sites that exacerbate the political divisions that we see today. Ideology is incredibly powerful in the way it determines how we perceive the world around us, and this effect is explored by Slovenian philosopher Slavoj Žižek in his documentary titled The Perfect Guide to Ideology. In his documentary, Žižek talks about how the 1988 film They Live demonstrates how ideology clouds people's judgment. In They Live, John Nada, the main protagonist, obtains a pair of magic sunglasses that allows him to see critiques of ideology when he puts them on. Žižek takes a slight spin on this concept by viewing things in reverse, stating, ideology should be glasses, which distorts our view, and the critique of ideology should be the opposite, like you take off the glasses so you can finally see the way things really are. Through this, we can understand that ideology acts as a lens that we see reality through, and these glasses are extremely difficult to take off. This is later illustrated in the film when Nada wrestles with his friend John Armitage to force him to wear the sunglasses, and to see the critiques as well. And Žižek comments that this struggle encapsulates the grip that ideology has over people. It is the extreme violence of liberation. You must be forced to be free. If you simply trust your spontaneous sense of well-being for whatever, you will never get free. Freedom hurts. Just as it takes an impossible amount of effort to remove yourself from ideology, ideology can also make it difficult to change your perspective as well. This struggle is further explored by media analyst Brooke Gladstone in her book, The Trouble with Reality, in which she goes into the 2016 American presidential election and the role that conflicting perspectives had during the election. One of the primary points she makes in her book is that people commonly resist changing their opinions, and this unwillingness of people to change their perspective has caused the recent surge of political polarization that we are seeing. This is encapsulated in a quote that she states in her book, saying, "Who would choose violation over validation?" With this, we can see how ideology is creating political division through social media. On the surface, it may seem that social media may help to reduce the fragmentation that we see, since it allows people to quickly and easily express their opinions online, while also enabling people to see, debate, and understand opposing viewpoints. However, any benefit that this notion may provide is nullified by another aspect of the internet that has also been recently read: echo chambers. Echo chambers are patterns of information sharing that reinforce pre-existing political beliefs by limiting exposure to opposing political views, as stated in a research article from Duke University on the subject, and they are formed from people choosing validation over violation online. This is further explored in the rest of the article, where researchers addressed how people end up in echo chambers by creating an experiment to observe how being exposed to different political views affect people's ideology. This was done by paying both Democratic and Republican Twitter users to follow a bot that retweeted messages endorsing views from the opposing party and seeing how their views changed over the experiment. In the end, they found this actually further radicalized people, with Democrats having more liberal attitudes and Republicans having substantially more conservative views after the experiment. Another critical aspect of social media sites that bolster echo chambers' ability to create more political division is the way these sites allow users to seek out specific content through filters. This issue is further discussed by former White House Administrator Cass Sunstein in his book titled Republic, Divide Democracy in the Age of Social Media. Throughout his book, he explores how social media affects American politics, and the major point Sunstein makes that people's ability to filter content to their personal liking is threatening democracy by limiting a critical aspect of self-expression by allowing people to self-censor their information. He states, we should be wary. Self-installation and personalization are solutions to some problems, but they also spread falsehoods and promote polarization. This self-installation that social media can create only serves to amplify the people's resistance to adjusting their viewpoints that stem from ideology by solely providing confirmation, making political disagreements even more severe. Social media has severely increased political polarization by reinforcing ideologies through echo chambers. It is very common for people to be unwilling to change their views due to the strength of the influence ideology has on people. It also encourages them to seek out opinions that confirm their beliefs, making it even more difficult to adjust their views and come to a compromise. If people are able to get past this and compromise, it'll be easier to come together as a country to overcome this pandemic.